Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to our channel. This is our Stories of a Couple. My name is Joe, and this is the lovely Miss
Carol. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Yes, it's always a pleasure just coming back here and talking to you guys and seeing you guys leaving comments on our videos. I know we went missing. For a very long time and we came back. But before even we start going into the topics, we just wanted to say, new year, new me, right? New year, new me. This is what we've been talking about the whole of the last weeks. Some people are energized already planning to make their year the most prosperous year. But do you have plans?
Of course I have plans. I have big plans.
Like
small
what?
Plans and big plans too.
Big plans? Do you wanna spill the beans or you don't wanna spill the beans?
Not yet.
Not yet. Guys, let me tell you what I already saw. She has a book. I read every single detail about what she's planning. One of those includes, stay in the video until the end and you'll get to know what she's planning. It's a trade, right? Okay. So for those who don't know who we are, for the new people who are watching this video for the first time, my name is Josephat. I'm Ugandan, and this is Carol. She's
Hungarian.
Yeah, we met here in Budapest, and if you haven't seen our story of how we met, we have videos. We have a video here that covers that segment. Actually, it's not just one video. We talk about it in multiple videos.
We have more videos. Yes, how we met, our first kiss.
Yeah, you had to say that, right? You had to say that, right? But anyway, guys, we thought that, through the last video that we posted, there was so much interaction. And thank you for those guys who left comments on our channel and just trying to encourage us to keep on making content. And we went missing for a while and it felt good to be back, doing this YouTube thing. It's not easy, but we're here for the ride and we're happy to be back here and just, putting out content and sharing our experiences, hoping we can inspire more people. Wow, I feel like I'm now a motivational speaker and Carol is just nodding her head yes, keep going.
I agree. Yes. And we also enjoy to do this, right?
Yeah, we do actually. I think it's a fun experience and it brings us together most of the time.
Yes, and we can just get to know each other more.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
To be honest, it's through the last video we posted, I think there was the topic about culture and how, we met each other's parents and that whole experience of Carol visiting Uganda and me going to Serbia. It kind of opened up a can of cherries. Actually, a can of cherries, a can of worms. People usually say a can of worms. I don't like worms. Do you fear worms?
I don't fear them. I don't like them.
So we should use cherries instead?
Yes.
Okay, so we opened up a can of cherries, right? And it sparked a bit of conversation. I saw some people leaving very meaningful comments on that video. And we thought, you know what? There's still so many questions unanswered, and that's what we're going to dive into today, And one thing that was highlighted, we know that it's one thing to share our experience, but the value that we share is what, creates the impact.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Now, so the very first one is the topic of food.
We love food. We love to eat. Okay. But what's the topic?
So the thing about the food, most of it, I think on our channel right now, if you see one of the videos, there was a video where Carol was cooking chikomando. That's like a typical Ugandan dish, right? So it's street food. And there's a mixture of chapati and beans, and there's a special way we make it. But the thing that I just wanted to highlight there is that most times people will see that and not know that you had to come from a place of learning that and just trying to be part of the culture. Can you teach me how to make it? And she had to make that for an entire video. I only guided her. I was there enjoying the whole, and I enjoyed it as she finished making it. But I think that when you're in an interracial relationship like we are, but I think also it applies to people who are in relationships, the times when you set aside to make food together, does that bring you closer together or does it cause fights? Does it, create, discussions where it separates you guys and you're not feeling in sync? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. I think most of all, it can bring couples together, but also can cause problems.
Why?
Because each of us has cooking skills and each of us has things like, I like to chop vegetables like this, but you chop vegetables like that, and maybe you won't like that, and you want to say like, you should do like this and not like that, because that's not good, so that can cause some conflict.
Yeah.
But
you know why I'm laughing actually?
Why?
It reminds me of the time when I used to chop my tomatoes and onions, and my cubes are much bigger. And you have to tell me, Joe, can you please make the cubes even way smaller, like
yes.
tiny? Yeah, it sucks. It's like,
yeah,
this is how I make mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's all about communication, right?
Yeah.
You just need to communicate to each other, like,
and trusting each other.
And trusting each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just another thing there, it's like, would you also say that I know that there are couples who don't know how to cook.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how their relationship and the foundation of their relationship has been built, and they prefer to eat out.
Yeah.
Which one, in your opinion, do you think brings people closer together? Eating out because you go out and have better conversations, or cooking at home at the comfort of your own house and making a meal together? Which one would you say, in your opinion, is the better one?
I think the better one is cooking at home together.
Okay.
Yes. But I mean, together, you know, like if only just one of you is cooking all the time, that's not a good thing, because that can cause conflict, yes. But if you cook together just sometimes, you don't have to do that all every day, but sometimes that's a good quality time together.
Yeah.
And you can have a good conversation, you have fun, you can listen music, you can dance, drink a bottle of wine, and just enjoy the food at your comfort of home.
And that sounds actually true, because I know that we have done that a couple of times. And I think like the part, you know, when we talk about just cooking together, it's not even just like, oh, let's just make pasta, you know. I know that the times where we are always curious is if we see something and we're like, you know what, let's try and cook that.
Yes.
Like we see a recipe. There's so many recipes online. People are making lots of recipes. Last time we saw a recipe where there was somebody making chapati from Irish potatoes. Okay, from potatoes, and we call them Irish potatoes in Uganda. From potatoes, and I was like, chapati with potatoes? How is that made? And we watched it together and we're like, you know what? Let's try it, and we did. We joined forces. We made it, and it was, you know, like it was amazing.
Yeah, and even more simple things. Do you remember you showed me a recipe of a coffee, like a cream for a coffee?
Yes. Making that coffee was amazing together.
Yeah, so we just had to try that recipe, and for a couple of days we made it. Every single day we made it because we wanted our coffee to taste like that.
Yes.
And that was very nice. It brings so much joy to us.
I guess that even that changed how we drink coffee, to be honest. Because you know how most of the times I think about like how we go into the kitchen, just make a quick coffee and just go around doing other things. That day, that was a process, like how you get the honey, then you get the coffee, then you mix the two, and then you have to like, how they call that thing when you put the machine in and it's like
a mixer.
Like a mixer, mixing it to a certain perfect then pouring your coffee, making sure the level of the milk balances, and whatever you use, if you use milk or soya or what other things, oat milk, people have different milks. That now there's so much milk. I don't know if we should call anything that is made from plants milk, but anyway. but yeah, so that changed how we made coffee.
Yeah.
But then it made us just realize that instead of going out to buy a coffee like from Starbucks or something, how about if you'd learned a recipe online and just learned how to make coffee from the comfort of your house?
It's amazing. You should try it if you haven't tried. I think we can share the recipe down below.
Or we shall then turn that into a video. You know what, guys?
Let us know. If you're curious about how do we make that special coffee at home, let us know in the comments.
Yes, just write just write coffee, or leave a comment saying like, we'd like you guys to show us how to make the coffee or to make the chapati with potatoes, and we shall make that a separate video so that you guys can learn. It's nice to share these things.
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess that in general, like, food brings people together, more especially if you're dating. There are couples who prefer to eat out, and that brings them closer because they sit somewhere and talk. That's if you have the money. But I often think that when you cook as well from home, it brings people together. the part about culture, when you're from two different cultures, when you cook food together, you can share each other's culture with it. You know, like we see what similarities we have, what differences. We've hosted people at our place most of the time here. Carol cooks something Hungarian, I cook something Ugandan, and that whole process of making that food together just makes us realize, like, oh my goodness, we got variety. You know? We got variety. And that process just brings us together. It's like teamwork. Like, you make that, I make this. That's Hungarian, or this is Ugandan. Let everybody come. And now the best part is when people sit down and eat, and everybody is like, oh my goodness, what is this? And what is that? You know, it's the best part.
You know what's the best part of it?
What?
That because we are from a different culture, we can learn from each other, but we can also take something from the other's culture. For example, in the Ugandan culture, they cook basically everything with peanut butter.
Oh yeah, most things from my tribe.
Yes, and now I started to use peanut butter a lot when I cook. In the Hungarian dish, you don't see any peanut butter in the recipe.
Yes.
But I include it nowadays, so it's amazing.
I think our biggest encouragement is try to cook together and see if that boosts you guys' relationship, for those who are not. But if you guys are actually doing this already, let us know how that has worked out for you guys, and if you have tips on some things we could try. Now I have a question for you.
Okay.
I know that we've been like cooking and talking about food and how culture is.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you're thinking about that we have to try that's related to cooking food, but you think will really bring us together?
Okay. I think it would be very nice if we would go for a cooking course.
A cooking course?
Yes.
For how long? Okay, but that's
like for a one night course.
Ah, cool.
For a couple of hours, they teach you how to make whatever is there. I have no clue.
I thought that was going to be for days, like you put that on your calendar.
No, because we know how to cook, so they don't need to teach us to cook, but to try something special.
Gotcha.
What do you think about that?
I think that's actually a good idea. Like, because I could imagine us doing like how to make like proper Italian pasta, and we go to like an Italian place and they teach us how to make Italian pasta from the ground up. Well, that would be nice.
Or make some chocolate.
Make some. No, I've been seeing some recipes online for chocolate, so I'm kind of getting it good. But let's say, what about coffee? Like if we went to like a barista, like a proper place where like, somebody's willing to teach us how to make proper coffee.
Sounds good.
See, okay, so you have the course on that.
Okay.
On the what food are we going to make?
We need to check.
Okay. Mine is a coffee. I like coffee, so.
Okay, yes. But it should be some main dish.
Yes, something it should be a main dish. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that rounds up this part of our talking of food. I know some people now probably are hungry. Now let's talk about language. You know, for people who have been following us from the start, you know our story. Like when Carol and I met, we didn't speak each other's language. Carol spoke Hungarian, I spoke English, she didn't speak English. So it was just a bit very complicated in the first 2-3 years to learn how to speak with each other. But there was a lot of learning from that, you know. Now that you hear her speaking very comfortably here, people think, okay, you guys, it was so easy. Nah, we came through the toughest times. But coming through that phase just made us learn a lot about patience, you know, hearing each other out, just, you know, learning everybody's communication style. It actually taught us new communication style for each other.
Yes.
Because I would imagine, like, if you spoke my language, I know that it's easier to communicate, but let's say it would have been more complex in how we unveil what we're trying to say to each other. Some people find it like I'm hot-headed, like if let's say I'm pissed off, and I'm like, I'm so pissed off right now, and I can just scream at you or something. This time we knew there was a big blockage for us. I couldn't scream at you. Of course I don't scream at people, but you also don't scream at people.
Yes.
And the way we just had to learn to communicate with each other, regardless of how we felt, if we were communicating, is that we just knew that we had something that is blocking us, and we needed to be very precise in how we share how we feel with each other. So meaning, like, if you've hurt me, I say, hey babe, you know what? this issue caught me off guard, and I felt like I didn't really appreciate that. See the pace of my communication. So I'm not going to come, you know what, this thing that you said pissed me off and I hate it and that. No, I couldn't, because if I did that, she would not even know what I just said. She wouldn't even understand what I just said. All she would see is somebody who's angry, and this guy doesn't know how to communicate his emotions. But I'm just giving you this as an example because this in itself taught me how to slow down when I was speaking to her, or, you know, just learn to express myself differently. But I don't know about you. Would you say that you fighting to learn to speak English and seeing how stubborn I was helped our relationship grow? Or do you feel like there were some things there that, you know, we could say could still be improved over time? Or if other couples were to be in the same place, what are those things that you'd say like they should pay attention to? Like, yeah.
Okay, so it was very, very difficult to start and have a conversation. I remember our first real conversation happened like in our 3 months of dating.
Yes.
Maybe.
It was like 5 minutes.
But it was
5 minutes conversation. Finally, 5 minutes. Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what helped us stay together, it was patience from both sides. Because you were very patient with me and you were trying to communicate slowly and using simple words. And I was trying to just listen and understand. But days after days, everything get clearer and easier. And nowadays we can have a good conversation. We can have deep conversations. And also we have arguments sometimes.
Of course.
Yes, but I still struggle to express myself. Yes. So that's still a difficult situation for me when, for example, we have an argument and I want to tell him something, but I feel I can't say the right words, and I fear that he's misunderstand my communication, and that can cause other problems too. But he's still very patient, and if I need some time to think about my words, we just stop talking. I try to think. If I need, I use my phone to help me. But this is how we get through this few years.
We managed to go over these years in that way, and I think it's worked for us. I'm usually very happy with this approach, and I think that right now I'm learning Hungarian, one of the hardest languages in the world to learn. In the beginning, it was very challenging. I was like, there is no way I'm going to learn this language. It's impossible to learn this language. But since I started studying now, I'm having a teacher. In the past year, I've learned how to communicate now. Yes. And I've seen how that has changed my relationship with her family as well, when I talk to her parents. But I think even for us, it's now at least let's say sometimes when I come home and I'm just joking with her, I'll just throw some words in and be like this and that, and she's like, how the heck do you know that? You know, like, where are you getting this from? Like, you can think through, you're actually thinking through the words, and you know the words, the grammar is missing, but you know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, because I always think that I know the words what you know in Hungarian, but you always surprise me and you just show me words, and I was like, wow, you know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think for me that's another thing that I just want to say, like, this whole experience of trying to learn a new language is something that I feel every couple can also try and do, because it just brings you together, right? I think so, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if you learn a new language and you both can speak that language, I mean, if, let me say, you're trying to add more excitement to your relationship, I apart from just cooking, if you learn a language together and both of you come and do it together, like, it's fun because then you all learn how to express yourself. You will try to learn English. I try to do that. Now I'm learning Hungarian. I'm trying to do that. It just brings us together. So I have a question, babe.
Okay.
If there is a language you wanted both of us to learn, apart from Hungarian, which I'm still going through, if you spoke English, perfect English,
yes,
and I spoke Hungarian, and we had to do this again, and to speak one language, both of us, go to school, study it together, what language would you say you think I would like to learn? I'm going to try and guess yours.
Okay.
Yes, try and guess mine.
Okay. I think yours is French. I have another language there, but maybe you will say that. So I stick French.
You're going to stick to French. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda. Mine is Spanish.
Yes. That was my second one.
Yeah, mine is Spanish. I don't know why I like Spanish, but I think Spanish is just romantic. I know people are going to say, yeah, the French are going to come in and say, come on, French is the most romantic language. But the Spanish, when they say mi amor, oh, mi amor, and then, like, oh my goodness, that just, oh my goodness. I imagine we're speaking and fighting in Spanish with each other. That would be amazing. But let me try and guess yours. I think yours would be Spanish as well. Kinda.
I have two languages.
Okay, the second one.
One of is Spanish.
One of them is Spanish. Okay, let me try and guess the other one.
Okay.
Should I try?
Yeah, try.
The other one is French.
No.
Fail. And German is not on the list because I know that one from the start.
No.
You told me you don't really like.
Something else.
Mandarin? Japanese?
No.
Which one?
We've been there.
English?
No. I'm learning English right now.
We have been there.
Yes, we traveled there. It's not far from Hungary.
Croatian?
No.
Polish?
Okay, let me help you.
Help me out. I'm like, what?
Italian.
Italian? Yes. Oh my goodness.
Italian.
Yeah, it was Italian actually.
Yeah, I like Italian language and Spanish too.
Italian.
So, one of
Italian
them.
is nice. I will agree. Italian is actually nice. When we went for that trip and I was seeing Petra speaking with Italian, that got me thinking. I'm like, yo, that's actually a nice language. Like the way she was expressing herself and yeah, that would be nice actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so yours is Italian and Spanish, and the good thing is that they're the same language family, and it would mean that it would be a bit easier to learn both.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
So French, Spanish, Italian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not surprised that Kylian Mbappe speaks Spanish. No, guys, this is our inside joke because we're watching a video of Kylian speaking Spanish. I was like, Kylian speaks Spanish? Anyway. But yeah, so that's really cool. I think Italian is nice. Would you like to learn Spanish?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Duolingo, we start.
Duolingo.
Okay, we shall need to vote. We put the Spanish and Italian in a cup. We shake it.
Okay.
And the first one you pick is what we learn together. But first I finish Hungarian.
Okay, so
Good.
next year.
Next year. See you next year when we're speaking Hungarian in this channel. Very good. So we're jumping over to the next topic. And our next topic is around being individual in a relationship. Maintaining individuality.
Okay, that's a good question and good topic.
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay. So I think some people think when you are in a relationship, you are one. You became one, and you have to do everything together, and that's the good thing. That's the right thing, and I don't want to say most of the people, but some people forget that they still have their own personality, individuality.
Yeah.
And they are still separated person.
Like you're still, like, two different people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's the hardest when you start a relationship, because like you fall in love, you want to do everything together, you want to be together all the time, but that's not how it should be all the time.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, and that's a definite thing that I agree with, because I think like most times relationships suffer because people start losing themselves. You find like let me say, like, I mean, it always depends on the couple, right? Each relationship is different.
Yes.
The couples who prefer to be with each other because maybe the circumstances that you came from, your childhood always determines how you react to things. Some people come from broken homes, and when they fall in love with somebody, they have that attachment because now they're learning to navigate that and stuff like that. And maybe that will start causing problems sometimes. Sometimes it won't. It will bring some people together. But I often think that before the relationship happened, we were all two different people. And I believe in the norm that the two must become one. But it is important to be yourself and do the things you used to do still when you're in a relationship together. I would imagine like depression would have hit me if I wasn't like, for example, like, oh, we are supposed to be together all the time. We should be going out all the time. We should be doing this together all the time. Every small chance I get, like, because majority of the times we're at work. But imagine I came home and the first thing is that I've been fighting to finish my day at work, to come and do something I like to do at home, or just be myself, or just relax. And then it's like there are still demands for us to be together, and that takes time. So times like things which are very good, like creatively, maybe like you like drawing. I like playing video games. Sometimes I play FIFA with my friends or play online. Go and hang out with the boys, just hang out with the boys, talk to the boys, learn new things, or be part of a group, and, you know, just going to church, or, you know, doing something that just, you know, that I used to do just makes me very alive. It makes me feel like I don't really miss myself that much, and I just learn how to bring my person, which is you, into the picture. For those who don't know, if you have not yet gotten them, okay, to bring my person into the picture and just learn how to work with that. So I feel like I am not in a place where I'm depressed. I can still be myself, but be comfortable around you, right? So for example, I like these things, and I know that you like painting, you like drawing, you like organizing the interior things and gardening.
Yeah, you kind of answered my question I wanted to ask you, because my question would be for you, like, what do you think, how do we handle this in our relationship? But you kind of answered already. But yeah, one thing what you said is you still have to stick your hobbies or things what you like to do by yourself, but it's also nice to involve your partner, because for example, I like to hike. I usually go to hike alone because that's what I like to do, but I also involve you, and sometimes you come with me and we hike together, sometimes with other friends, so that's an activity what we can do together.
That is true.
And from your side, I think you are a big football fan. I wasn't. But now here we are watching football games together. We have a favorite club.
Arsenal, so, you have to say it.
Arsenal.
Be proud.
Of course, I'm proud of them. Yeah, so it's amazing. It's amazing, yes, but it can be hard. I mean, like the beginning of our relationship, from my side, I know that I always want to eat with you, have a meal together all the time, like have breakfast after work. We sit together, have our dinner, but I had to learn that our eating rhythm is not the same. I like to eat earlier, like my dinner is earlier, yours is later. So I was like, okay, that's not a problem if we don't eat all the time together.
Yeah.
So these kind of things like you learn through your relationship.
Exactly. And you kind of like work it out. You find what works when you guys come together. It's nice. Oh, there's one thing I just wanted to highlight there. You know how people say that when you're in a relationship, some things that you started doing at the start, you started doing from the start. It started from the start. It's the same word. Let me try and use different words in my English. Some things that you started doing in the beginning of your relationship, right? Like, for example, if you used to go out much more, if you used to do something, you used to play tennis, there's some things that become so familiar and boring. But then I think the boring thing starts becoming boring because you're not introducing new things. And most times people will start blaming. It's like, okay, yeah, we do this. Okay, it's the same old stuff. It's the same old stuff. But then also, like, if you're often doing those things together and forget that there was just you in the beginning, you used to do those things by yourself, probably plan out some stuff with your friends, go and play tennis with them, have a good conversation with them. That process of having a good conversation with people who you're not with all the time brings new stuff in, and that's where you find talking points. I mean, it's different for everybody, but this is just my opinion. The fact that you can spend time by yourself in the things you love just gives you more energy to create space for other things. This is what I believe. So if you're not putting more time for yourself in your own relationship, then you're going to start thinking more of your problems. You're going to start focusing on the negatives. I'm not happy. I don't know what's happening. I just feel like we need to pause or have a break. Yeah, there are many reasons why couples will have a break in their relationship. But this is also one of them, is just that we forget to be ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with that, I think we all agree that it's important for us to all be in sync in maintaining individualities, but learning how to cooperate or work together in our relationships. Yeah.
Very important.
Yes. And for the final point that I would like us to talk about, which is traveling.
Ooh. Okay.
Does traveling bring couples together? Is it the best recommendation for new couples to travel together, or would you say that traveling is something that, you know, couples who are far in their relationship should look forward to? Is it like a this or that thing, or it's like by standard, if you travel together, it's going to bring you guys together like 100%?
That's a tricky question.
Okay, let's go for it. Yeah.
First of all, I would say yes, it can bring couple together, but it also has challenges what couple needs to face.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the positive side of traveling together.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay?
Yeah.
So traveling together as a couple, it's a fantastic thing. It's very good because you are together, you have quality time together, you share memories together, which is very important in a relationship.
Yeah.
Do you remember our first long travel when we went to Montenegro?
Oh, yes.
We spent there a week with friends.
Yes.
But in those few days, we are connected much more than before.
Yes, we did. And I think in that trip also, we had some disagreements.
Yes.
We had some very interesting disagreements. It wasn't the most amazing disagreement, but I guess that just showed us that when you're on a trip, you learn how to plan things together. I mean, you plan, you communicate.
Yes.
Both of us started seeing like we're different. Caro is like a planner. She likes to know what's the plan. So she will say like, if there is no plan, this is the plan. We shall go here, go there, and that. For me, I'm more of the spontaneous guy. When I come, I'm like, okay, we are here. Look at that mountain. Let's go to that mountain. And you're like, I'm not ready for that mountain. But I think that's where I feel like for me, where I say like traveling showed me a bit of how we could team up, even when we are different people. And we see who is stronger with something. And I get to be like, if you want to plan something, go to Carol. So babe, can we plan this trip? if you want something spontaneous, come to me and I will tell you what we shall do. Of course, we shall not go skydiving because you're there for your heights. But it's going to be very spontaneous. Like, it depends on the mood and the time, and it has to be very adventurous. I mean, like, the people who say that when a trip is planned, they enjoy it more. I'm more of the spontaneous person. I feel like when you plan trips out as a couple, it's nice. But the more spontaneous things you do, the more also it gives you a chance to kind of like, you know, change your rhythm a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, like that's true. I like to plan, but I also like to leave some gap in the days. Like, I just like to have like 1 or 2 main things for each day.
Yeah.
But we know that that's a plan, and that can be a plan. Like, it shouldn't be like we need to stick to that plan every time, but it's good to have something, and you can reach out if you don't know what to do.
Yes.
That's why I like to plan.
And I think also like it will create a bit of negativity as well. The reason why I'm saying that, not negativity, I'm using a wrong word. With trips, what I've noticed is that everything happens in a trip. One, something could happen with your flights, if you're flying, or with your bus tickets, and then during a stressful moment, you see how your partner handles that issue. We have seen that with us as well. Like, I know that for you will lose your head, and I'm the guy who's always trying to stay calm in every situation, and I have to calm you down and be like, babe, calm down. It's going to work out. Let's just cool down. And I think that most people miss this because they be like, you know what, I just have to wait for the perfect time, and until we do this, that's when I will travel with you, and then this and that and whatnot. But then I feel like the more you spend time doing things like this, it's like it gives you more insight on your partner. You start seeing certain things like, oh, this person here is a hothead when she's not clear with, I mean, I'm not saying you're a hothead. Don't get me wrong. I'm just giving as an example. Like, it's not very clear with this, then that one is not clear with this, and that's when you start identifying where your strong side comes in, and you can complement one another. Like, if I know that I'm not good at planning, and say like I'm not good at planning trips and knowing exactly where to go, I'll be like, Carol knows how to look at the small tiny details. Let me go to her for this one. And then for me, when I'm going to like say like let's do something spontaneous in that trip, and then I'll come like, you know what, I've seen that there is a park next to that place. Let's go and spend time in the water park, just do slides and everything, get exhausted, and let's go to this restaurant. There's this restaurant I've seen, let's just go sit there. It may be boring. If we don't like it, let's go to the next one. We shall be tired, but we shall be happy, you know. But that also makes it fun. And then if you see how I react when things go, I was like, why are you always calm? Like you said, Joe is always calm in situations, and that's something that's good.
Yes, but this is also good because we kind of complement each other.
Yeah.
You have your strength, I have mine, and this is how traveling brings us together, and also sharing memories.
That's a very good point.
Travel, it's amazing. It's something what you can share together, and later you just bring the memories back, talk about it, watch our photos or videos. The travel, it's very nice.
You know, as we were talking about being individual in your, like the individuality and just being yourself, would you also say that when you travel by yourself, it's also important to travel by yourself in a relationship? Like, if you know, would you recommend that?
I would say yes, because I like to travel alone.
Sometimes. Or most times.
No, I like to travel alone. I not do it all the time, but that's something that I like to do.
Because it's something you were doing before we met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it also gives space. You know that space that people keep on saying like, hey, I need some space. That's the time when you need space.
Yes, and actually like travel together. And if you are someone who like to spend time alone, just to be with yourself, your thoughts and everything, it can be hard to share the room all the time. You go together everywhere, you just spend the whole day together for a whole week or 2 weeks. It can be overwhelming if you can't communicate it well. So that's why I say communication is a key
for that one to happen,
even if you travel.
And I also think like that's true for the fact that not all of us want to see the same things on a trip.
Yes.
So if there are people whom I've heard that in there, when they travel together, sometimes they will separate and somebody will be like, you know what, I'm going to the museum by myself because I like looking at historical stuff. Others say, I like art, I'm going to go to this art place. Yeah.
It happened to us last year when we went to Croatia.
Yes.
Because I really had this imagination in my head that I want to spend the whole day at the beach. I just want to lie down, read my book, and just resting, be there the whole day. But that wasn't his plan. So we had to argue.
Yeah,
right? That's the right word, right?
Yeah, we had a passionate.
We had to agree.
We had to agree.
Yes.
We had a passionate moment of sharing our opinions with each other.
Yes, but.
Yeah, but we had to agree. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So if you travel together, you're going to face these kind of things, and even like, where do we eat? Like, because we need to choose a restaurant or buy food and make it at home.
Yeah.
So those are the things what you need to talk about.
That is true. And I guess that there's so much you can learn from traveling together, especially as a couple, or if you're alone. And I mean, as a couple, you decide to take some time to yourself and travel by yourself. I know some friends of mine who are already married and stuff like that, and they often travel by themselves. They travel together on certain trips, but in the year you see that they travel to different places by themselves because they have different interests as well. And that's exciting. I think it's something we've also learned. Carol goes away and I have the house to myself, or call the boys over. I'm like, boys, it's a boys' weekend. Come around. Let's be boys and cook and mess up the house. And then by the time she comes back, she finds the house organized again. But it was a good time just to break that, part aside and then come back together. And I think that just brings more excitement, to the relationship. And for her, it's energizing. She goes and she just connects with herself again, and she comes back. When I also leave, I've gone on a couple of business trips, and when I'm away, sometimes I'm like, oh, this would be nice to have her here, looking at this stuff and doing it together. But sometimes I'm also there thinking, I'm like, you know what, this is nice, because I never really appreciate things like look at it and be like, you know what, that's amazing, Joe. It's wonderful. Take it in. Take all of it in. And I'm like, oh wow, I appreciate it. And when I come back, I can't wait to tell her the story.
Yes.
It's like, you come, I'm like super charged. I'm like, I went here and then I did that and then I did that and then
we didn't share the memory together, but when you talk about it, it's like I was there.
Yes.
I was there.
Showing all the pictures.
Yes.
Yes. But that's the roundup of all of this, guys. I think that, if there's anything else that you want to say, because I'm rounding up now, just closing everything.
No, I think we covered everything.
We covered all the points.
Yes.
Guys, so if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment section. And we're always happy to answer those questions. Again, we talked about food. If you'd like us to make coffee and teach you how to make that coffee we spoke of, just write it in the comments. We shall make a video on that. Secondly is also the chapati. That's a Ugandan thing, and I know it's also Indian. Everybody makes it their own way, but we make the most awesome chapatis. So just write a comment. We shall show you how to make that chapati recipe. So with that being said, that's a wrap for today. My name is Joe. This is Carol. This is Stories of a Couple. See you in the next video and have yourselves a blessed week. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.